Good morning, all you strange and wonderful weirdos. I'm John.
And I'm Stacey.
It's Tuesday, October 25th, and here's why today is strange.
All right, so let's start with a story from Greenwich, Connecticut about two paleontologists who discovered an unknown dinosaur in the Bruce Museum archives. Well, the fossil, the whole dinosaur wasn't back there. Yeah, I better make that clear. So after decades of sitting in the collection of the Bruce Museum, the fossil of a little bird that's distantly related to like modern day grouses and turkeys has been officially identified. It had been sitting in the archives of this museum for almost 100 years, a completely unknown dinosaur.
So, I mean, it was a little dinosaur.
Yeah, it was just like a little bird dinosaur. It was
I thought dinosaurs were all like birds. So what did this thing start as, you know?
I don't know. I mean, it had
cricket?
wings and stuff. So maybe. It was discovered in 1933 in Nebraska, and it's been housed for decades, and no scientist had undertaken a study of it. Just got left back there, get collecting dust.
Lazy Connecticutans, whatever. Connecticutans? What?
Connecticutans. Connecticutians. What? I don't know what they call them. That's a really difficult one.
I know there's Kentuckians.
Yeah.
You would think it'd be kind of like the
Like Rhode Islanders and
Connecticut. Well, they're really rich.
Yeah. So anyway, a student at Yale had been going through the collection and uncovering a number of new discoveries among the fossils and old bones. I just think this is the crazy, crazy story because you know what? Go through your closets, museums. Go through your closet.
There's always stuff found in museums. You know that.
There is. It's
we
so
have
crazy.
Tons of stories about things that were previously unknown or whatever. There's just not enough funding.
No, and there really are probably not enough paleontologists to
They
go
honestly
around.
tell you a lot of times. I know there's been huge discoveries that have been found in museums, just housed in miles and miles of.
They just get put in boxes
Right.
back and maybe mislabeled or maybe, we'll get to that later or they want to wait until they have better technology.
That's why we've talked about this before,
Mm-hmm.
We really have.
We have.
We've had stories before of things that were found and just like, maybe we should go back through a lot of our old catalogs.
Exactly.
To see things that we didn't think were important before because times change. We learn things. We know things. We could test things.
Right.
We could not test previously.
Right.
So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me as much that I think, honestly, the surprising factor would be how much we don't hear about. I mean, because I'm sure there's a lot more out there.
Oh, I'm sure. I want to go through the closets of the Smithsonian, but frankly, the cellar and the back room.
Do you?
The room they don't want to tell you about.
So, the room of requirement.
Yeah.
So if you had a choice, right, you could go through the secret archives of the Vatican, free reign, as much as you want.
Right. You don't have to know the topic first.
No. Secret. I'm talking about the little room they don't tell you about, right? The room that you have to get by Filch and the cat.
Right.
To get to. Or you had free reign to the Smithsonian, all their throwaways, like the giants and...
Well, I guess it depends because I have to decide if the Smithsonian actually kept that stuff.
Well, that's not fair because then you'd have to wonder if the Vatican actually had anything of worth.
That's true.
They both say they don't.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I don't probably pick the Smithsonian because I know that they have gone and taken things.
Yeah.
Like it's in the old newspapers. Oh, the Smithsonian came and picked that up.
Well, if we had
we never heard of it again.
If we had old enough newspapers, it'd be like, if we had like the Daily Jesus, it would be like, you wouldn't believe what happened today, which is,
Right.
Anyway.
All right, let's move on. So let's talk about a story from Maryland. The Marylanders.
The Marylanders.
Marylanders, there you go.
Yeah.
So a Maryland couple says mysterious strangers have moved into a house that they just purchased, and they are now refusing to leave.
Wow.
Yes, so on this past week, a couple signed a contract with a bank to buy a vacant home in Clinton, Maryland. And the next day, mysterious strangers moved in, put up a no trespassing sign and beware of dog sign, claimed they had a lease, and are now refusing to leave the house that these people just bought.
Do you think they really have a dog?
I don't know. There is a beware of dog sign, so I don't know if I want to find out. Now, whenever the strangers have been confronted, they show some kind of strange piece of paper that's supposed to be a lease belonging to an uncle named Quinn that they can't remember his last name. And they declined to answer any other questions. And now they have no idea what to do.
Excuse me, sir. You're not supposed to be here. Oh, yeah? What was that? That was my lease.
Let me see that again.
Let me see that. Let me see that again. I showed it to you. I showed it to you twice. It's not my fault you didn't read it. Well, this is the lease. That's just a piece of paper. I've got the real lease. You?
Isn't that horrible? I feel bad for those people.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen to me. Just saying.
Just saying.
My attorney, Smith and Wesson and Associates.
Associates. Oh, wow. All right. So let's move on. Let's talk about Michigan.
I have no idea.
Either.
Michiganians?
Maybe. So recently in Boynton Falls, Michigan, they have opened the world's longest timber-towered suspension bridge. It is the length of 4 football fields end to end, and it's about 120 feet up off the ground. You have to take a ski lift to get to the bridge. And then you walk across it, and as you get right to the middle, there's like a 36-foot section of, clear section, so you can see down. So if there's people skiing under you, you can watch them.
You have to take a ski lift to get to
get up to where the really, really high swinging suspension bridge
I can't take the ski lift. No, listen, suspension bridge is no for you.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't bother me as bad. Ski lift, I have a lot of problem with.
Right.
It's the whole anticipation of having to get off correctly.
It's all about dismount. It's all about the dismount.
I have a huge problem, and it gets in my head, and every single time I get my leg caught up under me when I'm trying to get off a damn ski lift. I don't know why. It's just in my head. It's a simple process.
I got you. Now, this bridge is only open to foot traffic. And excuse me, it spans the length of 3 football fields. I think I may have said 4. I was just making it worse in my head. It was built by the same people that built the Sky Bridge in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So same company. They go on and tell you all about these 2 massive timber towers that support the walkway that have 2 million pounds of concrete holding them in, and how many bolts they put in there, and how tall they are, the timbers. And I scanned this thing. I even went to the company that built it. And what I wanted to know were how strong were the 334 suspender cables that are attached to the walkway path. That's what I want to know. I want to know how much weight those can handle.
I want to know what kind of fire protection we have. Timber towers?
Yeah, made of wood. And there is steel, but it's mostly wood. And the people that go across it at the same time, so many people. You would not get me on that.
So
hundreds of people at the same time.
Question time.
Yeah.
Would you rather have to do timber towers
right,
or that one, I forget where it's at, where you see through the bridge on the side of that cliff,
I don't know.
The glass one?
Maybe that one because it doesn't swing. This one swings, when it's windy, and they even close it if the gusts are too high, and it's been open a week and it's already been closed 2 or 3 times.
Oh my God.
Because they can't open it if it's too windy or if the weather's too close.
I bet the wind
safety
is
measures.
Horrible because
up
of how
on top
long
of a
it
mountain. Exactly. So, that's a no for me. I'm sure it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. Ooh.
Everything's fine.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about a brand new Danish political party that is led by an AI.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's called the Synthetic Party. It's
You
in
are kidding
Denmark.
me, right?
No.
This is a joke.
This is not a joke. The Synthetic Party in Denmark is dedicated to following a platform churned out by an AI, and it's got a public face. It's a chatbot named Leader Lars. Yes, so it's a new Danish political party. It was started by an artist collective called Computer Lars and a nonprofit art and tech organization called Mind Future Foundation. Now, their public face and figurehead is this AI chatbot. You can actually chat with him on Discord. I think you can type to him in English, but he'll only respond to you in Danish. But it's programmed with all these policies of fringe parties from the 1970s, the Danish fringe parties from the 1970s. And it's meant to represent the values of the 20% of Danes who do not vote in the election. And they do have human participants. And since, you can't put an actual AI on the ballot, then one of the human representatives of the party would run, but says that they are committed to following the policies and procedures of whatever the AI puts forth. That's the party. Now, the party hopes also to add an 18th sustainable development goal to the United Nations list of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, which are goals relating to the issues such as poverty and inequality and things like that. Now, they're SDG. Yes, Sustainable Development. You just want me to say it again. Development Goal.
A little bit worse.
The one
itches a couple hours longer, burns a little harder.
The one that they want to add is called Life with Artificials, and it focuses on relationships between humans and AI and how to adapt and educate people. Now, so far, the Synthetic Party, as of the time of this article, they have to have 20,000 signatures to make it eligible to run in this November's election. As of the writing of this article, they have 11.
Okay. All right. So you could have stopped after the title. We didn't care or need to hear the rest of it.
AI running a party.
I don't need to hear about their STDs. I don't need to hear about any of their roles or any of their yaws or whatever. Okay, there's something wrong with the atmosphere there. There's something wrong with no, this cannot be allowed. All right? You can't even flirt with it because they're tricky, see? They're very tricky.
Just go ahead and let them in on the politics.
All over the place. It's like bringing the monkeys in the house to be our pets. They've warned us. Mark Wahlberg tried to tell us. And still yet, you know what we would do? As soon as somebody comes out and says, oh, hey, we just trained this monkey to be a perfect butler, and I would be on it. Me, even knowing that I'm wrong.
Right.
I could not refuse a monkey butler. This is the reason we cannot let the AI even sniff public office.
There you go.
Because we will all be enslaved, even worse than we are. We already worship it in our hands at all times.
It's very true. They don't even have to take over everybody. They could just be the government.
Phones and boobies. We cannot get them out of our hands or our eyes.
I mean...
And then we put them together.
I'm not sure he speaks for everyone, but
Oh,
all right.
Most of, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So let's talk about this story that I found on futurism.com. And this is a strange thing, but it's also very cool. So this is about a guy who happened to lose his eye to cancer. That's not the cool part. And in place of his eye, he wears a prosthetic. And he is a machinist, so he put a bright light into the socket of his eye, and he uses it as a flashlight. So, Southern California-based engineer and prototype machinist, his name is Brian Stanley. He's gone viral now on TikTok with his Terminator-style cyborg eye flashlight that can light up an entire room. He claims that he calls it his titanium skull lamp. He said he lost his eye to cancer, so he made it, and he turned his head into a flashlight. You can watch the video here, and you can see that it does light up quite a large area in any direction that he's looking. And he said it's great because he can read in the dark. And he holds up a book, and you can see that he can read in the dark. It's fantastic. He says that he goes all out on the holidays. Last year, he made one that was like in the shape of a pumpkin. This year, he has a Jack Skellington eye for Halloween. It is actually very cool looking.
I hate you.
Very cyborg looking.
So, going back to monkeys.
Right.
What was it they called Charlton Heston's character? What did the gorilla?
Cornelius?
Yeah, what did that? No, Cornelius was Cornelius. Oddly enough.
I don't know.
What did?
Oh, Charlton Heston. I'm sorry. Bright Eyes. I'm sorry. I had that backwards.
They called him what?
Bright Eyes.
Yeah.
This is just one eye, though. He's just bright eye.
Here's the deal. How brave. How brave and wonderful. It's great.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It's he said, doesn't get too hot. Everything's contained in the prosthetic, and
It's
it
fantastic.
turns on with like another piece that you put close to it, and then it'll turn it on and off.
Just don't play with any BB guns, and we'll be fine.
All right. So let's go on to our last story. This one I think is going to be for you. I think this one's good for you.
That wasn't
This is
your last story.
about a Russian startup. No, that was not my last story, believe it or not. It's about a Russian startup that's offering its clients a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to arrange their own fake funeral and go through the experience of being buried alive for 3.5 million rubles. Sorry, not rubies. Rubies would be very expensive. Sorry. That's about $57,000. So, a self-proclaimed business coach with more than 130,000 Instagram followers has announced this new venture that she's doing where she has two different packages for their fake funerals.
How many followers?
130,000.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So this is her business plan. She has two different packages, the online funeral and then the full immersion funeral. Now, the online one is only about $15,000 or 600,000 rubles.
Oh.
And it's advertised as like stress therapy for fears and anxieties. And it promises to allow the client to close chapters in their lives and undergo divine healing. However, if you opt for the full immersion package, you'll be able to go through a full funeral carried out according to your own religious preferences with a coffin. They'll put you in the coffin. They'll do the entire, ceremony. Then they will bury you for up to 60 minutes, followed by a mandatory revival with an all-around revived awareness of their mission. And you're expected to emerge from the coffin with a renewed desire to live and will also be able to keep the coffin as a souvenir. And she claims that it'll allow you to evaluate your life and love it and understand your mission and unlock your potential. And there is the possibility, she does claim, that you may come out with a new psychic ability or be more intuitive in your happy future, be more successful because now you can put the past behind you because it's dead to you now because you've been buried and start fresh and new. Yes.
You
can bury you under the dirt in a coffin.
I have so many questions.
For up to 60 minutes. And you pay them to do it.
So does this officially do you get rid? I mean, are you not wanted anymore?
No,
because
you're
not creditors now.
You're not technically dead. It's a fake funeral. She does specify it's a fake funeral, but they do bury you under the ground.
So it's death without the benefits.
Right, exactly. My problem is I would do it, and then it would be like shift change, and somebody'd forget that I was down there.
Or I'd slip them another 5.
Hey.
No, I'm not doing it.
So there you go.
He's a nutter.
There's your stress relief for you.
Yeah, that's no.
Yeah, no, not me either. These stories were all about no.
We'll be back tomorrow, but that's why today was strange.